Welcome to Biggest Spoilars, the destination for exclusive spoilers, latest updates.
General Hospital spoilers report Carly Spencer was awaiting Britt Westbourne to end up in Jack Brennan's room last week any further than he was, but that's what happened. Hearing Britt lament how delicate it's going to be for them to work together moving forward was a tough lozenge to swallow. Carly has no way liked Britt, but she came to have some semblance of respect for her after Jason Morgan failed. Now, she's convinced that Britt is over to her old tricks and who could condemn her. That's clearly what it sounds like. But Carly is also prejudiced and likely wants to suppose the worst of Britt, else, she'd balance what she heard against the reality that everyone who works with Jack is generally doing so out of compulsion or blackmail. There's a lot of focus on what Carly's intel might mean for Jason and Britt, as well as Carly's fellowship with Jason. But I suppose we need to exfoliate some light on the other veritably important man in her life, her family, Lucas Jones. Knowing Britt is going to be working on Ladle Island means Lucas could come an asset, and she may have to blow the whoosh on his relationship with Marco Rios before it blows him up. Carly and Lucas are on shaky ground. This family brace is formally floundering to stay above water over the last several months. Try as she may, Carly just can't accept Marco being a part of Lucas' life. She doesn't trust him and believes he's wrapped up in some bad schemes with his father, Jen Sidwell. She'd be right, but Lucas isn't ready to defy reality, as usual. Dishing what she eavesdropped Britt and Jack talking about to Lucas wouldn't be helpful if his fidelity lies with Marco right now. In fact, it could land everyone including Carly and Valentine Cassadine by hot water if Lucas' reflections to Marco. Spoilers tease her concern for her family will increase now that she knows Britt is tangled up with Jack. That's going to worry Carly further about the position of deception she's presumably involved in, and how important she's pulling the hair over Jason's eyes. At the same time, she knows Lucas has been falling for Marco, and she wants to keep her family safe. He may not be so open to her defensive nature, however. But realizing that the other side of Britt's work involves Sidwell, and now working nearly with him at Windmere, might have Carly scrabbling to figure out another way to cover her baby bro. However, will she turn to Sonny Corinthos? Effects come full circle. Just picture it, if she can't go to Jason for help. Lucas hates Sonny and everything he embodies, and ultimately he's going to find out the man he loves is indeed worse than the one Carly used to be hitched to. A lot of suckers have been looking for a reason for Sonny to be edgy and applicable again, and I suppose this could be a great way for GH to pull it off. Valentine can only do so much, and he's selfishly concentrated on his own hobbies. He's not going to be an idol for Carly then. Jason is dazed by his passions for Britt and wouldn't want to be swayed into going against her, let alone by Carly's side or upon her urging. But if it ends up being Sonny who helps Carly cover Lucas, also baby bro just might have to reform his opinion about the mob master. What do you suppose? All's well that ends well? The latest General Hospital spoilers have certainly stirred the pot for Carly Spencer, and fans are already buzzing over the fallout from last week's surprising encounters. Carly did not anticipate Britt Westbourne ending up in Jack Brennan's room, nor did Jack, but that's exactly how events unfolded. Britt's open frustration about how challenging it would be to work with Jack going forward hit Carly hard. She's never been a fan of Britt, and though she developed a grudging respect for her after Jason Morgan's presumed death, last week's interaction has Carly questioning everything she thought she knew about Britt. Carly is starting to suspect that Britt might be plotting the same kind of manipulation she was known for in the past, and honestly, who could blame her? It certainly sounds like the type of scheme Britt would attempt. At the same time, Carly's judgment may be clouded by bias. She's inclined to see the worst in Britt, especially given their history, and that might prevent her from considering the context. Many of the people who cross paths with Jack do so under pressure, coercion, or even threats. That makes it complicated to pin any behavior solely on Britt's own ambitions. Carly's focus has largely been on what Britt's actions could mean for her relationship with Jason Morgan, and the precarious balance of trust and deception surrounding him. But there's another critical figure in Carly's life that cannot be overlooked, her brother, Lucas Jones. Carly is deeply aware that Britt's new role on Spoon Island could impact Lucas, potentially putting him in danger. And if Lucas is involved with Marco Rios, Carly may feel compelled to intervene before the situation spirals out of control. Carly and Lucas have had a rocky road over the past several months. The sibling pair is still struggling to navigate their personal and emotional entanglements. Carly, in particular, cannot reconcile her protective instincts with Lucas' growing connection to Marco. She is wary of Marco and believes he's involved in schemes orchestrated by his father, Jen Sidwell. Carly's instincts aren't off base. Marco may indeed be entangled in dubious affairs, but Lucas remains unwilling to face the truth, choosing instead to remain in his bubble of denial. If Carly were to relay what she overheard between Britt and Jack, it might backfire spectacularly. Lucas' loyalty is currently with Marco, and revealing too much could inadvertently place everyone, including Carly and Valentine Cassadine, in jeopardy. If Lucas shares sensitive information with Marco, there's no telling how it might explode, creating a ripple effect of unintended consequences. With Britt now firmly connected to Jack, Carly's concern for Lucas is likely to intensify. She's beginning to realize that Britt may be pulling off a level of deception far beyond what she initially suspected, potentially manipulating Jason in the process. Carly's protective instincts are heightened, especially when it comes to her younger brother. Lucas may not readily accept Carly's intervention, given his emotional attachment to Marco and his tendency to resist warnings. Yet Carly is beginning to understand that Britt's network extends to Sidwell, and now that Britt is collaborating with him closely at Windmere, Carly may be forced to rethink her strategy entirely. Her mind is racing. If Jason cannot be trusted to act on her concerns, is there anyone else she can turn to? Could Sonny Corinthos, the man Lucas despises and Carly has complicated history with, become her unexpected ally? The situation is rife with dramatic irony. Lucas, who has always disliked Sonny and everything he represents, may soon discover that the man he admires, Marco, has ties that are potentially even more dangerous than those of Carly's ex-husband. For GH writers, this is a golden opportunity to reintroduce Sonny as a relevant, edgy player in the ongoing storylines. While Valentine has been focused on his own ambitions and cannot be relied upon as a protector, Sonny's intervention could shift the power dynamic entirely. Jason, blinded by his feelings for Britt, is unlikely to act against her, even if Carly urges him to. This creates the perfect storm for Sonny to emerge as an unlikely guardian for Lucas, forcing the younger man to reconsider his opinions about the mob boss. Of course, with all this comes the tension and underlying threat that GH thrives on. Carly knows that taking action is a delicate balancing act. Every step she takes to protect Lucas carries risk, not just for herself, but for everyone else involved. Britt's manipulations, Marco's entanglements, and Sidwell's schemes all intersect, creating a web of intrigue where a single misstep could trigger disaster. Carly's concern for her brother is sincere, but the challenges ahead are formidable. She must navigate complex alliances, manage sensitive information, and anticipate reactions from multiple parties, all while maintaining the trust of those closest to her.